Okay, so coffee saved my life. Okay, so let me say that again. Coffee saved my life. But first, I had to die. Okay, 10 years ago today, October 17th, 2011, I had a heart attack and I died in my driveway in Enid. Okay, I was transferred to community hospital at the time and I was unresponsive the entire way. Okay, I remember waking up and this is what I heard. Don't move. You had a heart attack. You're in the hospital. There's a wire in your heart. I was in the cath lab. So I passed back out. You know, I'm like, what the hell, right? So when I wake up again, I'm in a room. Nurses all around me. I've got, needles inside me. They're shaving me. And I'm telling you, the nation's best heart doctor walks in the room. And he says, you've had a massive heart attack. All 4 of your coronary arteries are 99% blocked. 99% blocked. He said, do you have a daughter? And I said, yeah, she's 4. He said, get her up here. Because the procedure I'm going to do, most people don't survive. And he walks out of the room. Yeah. So all the nurses are like, we'll get her up here, we'll get her up here, we'll get her up here. Well, I'm just numb. The guy just told me I'm not going to survive. That's crazy. So he keeps yelling into the room, get him ready, get him ready. And the one nurse keeps telling him his daughter's not here yet. And he says, I'm more worried about getting his tattoos on his chest lined up than I am his daughter getting here. Well, just then my daughter gets there finally. And the head nurse, she comes in and she says to me, don't you dare tell that baby girl goodbye. You tell her you'll see her again. And I said, yes, ma'am. And that's what I did. My daughter came in, I hugged her, and I said, baby, I'll see you again. And they took me into the room. And the next thing I remember is waking up and I felt like I had a semi-truck sitting on my chest. And the doctor was right in my face. And he says, you're lucky I'm a great surgeon. And I said, thank you for saving my life. And he said, I got your tattoos lined up. So he saved my life. But if you thought that was the biggest struggle, you have no idea. Because I went from being Superman, I went from being the baddest guy in the gym, biggest bench press, drove the coolest car, my ego was huge, to having my dad shave my face. I had to poop with a pillow, if you know anything about it. My ego was totally gone. And I was in so much pain you couldn't imagine. So if you don't know what open heart surgery is, I'll give you a little rundown. Okay? They take a buzz saw, and I mean a buzz saw like you see in your garage, and they cut your sternum in half. And then they stick these clamps in there. I know because I used to work at Kettering. They stick these clamps in there, and they have a bar, and the doctor pulls the bar, and it rips your chest open, and all the cartilage in your ribs breaks with it. Okay? I was in so much pain mentally, physically. I was nothing. So I go to my doctor, who's a nurse assistant or physician's assistant, not ready, great man, but he was not ready to treat an open heart recovery patient. And I say, man, I'm in all this kind of pain. Can you help me? He's like, I need help. So he asked if he could bring another doctor in to help me. And that doctor comes in and he tells me if I pray, my pain will go away. I said, do you know what just happened to me? You need to calm down and pray. No, I need to find another doctor. Bye. And I got up and I walked out. I just walked out. So I went to my doctor that I have now. Great guy. He's an ex-Army guy. We're friends because the tattoo across my chest says illegitimi non carborundum. Does anybody know Latin? It says basically, don't let the bastards grind you down. Right across my chest. He did get it straight. Looks pretty good. So I went from being Superman to being nothing. So he agreed to help me, and he prescribed me 70 Vicodin. Now back then, you didn't have to have 20 Vicodin here, 10 here, 10. The laws were a little different, because remember, this was 10 years ago today. 10 years ago today, I checked, October 17th. It's crazy that it happened. So man, I started taking these pills and my pain went away. And you know, when my pain went away, my mental pain went away too, because you know what? I didn't have to poop with that pillow anymore. I could shave my own face. I could get up into my Jeep. I started going to the gym. Now people are like, oh my God, how are you in the gym so fast? What happened? My ego just started getting bigger. So guess what? I took more and more and more pills. Well, the doctor obviously quit prescribing them. It didn't matter. You can get pills anywhere. My 14-year-old daughter can get pills, and she goes to a STEM academy. So I kept taking more and more and more and more pills. I was functioning though. So I thought. Everybody else around me knew. But it helped me try to get back. That was my justification. You know, I could hold my daughter in my arms again. I was back to who I was again. Well, I got in a little bit of trouble. And I had to go to an AA meeting. So I go to the gym. And I ask around, and this guy says, hey, there's a church in Yellow Springs. Love Yellow Springs. And he said, it's in the basement. They'll sign your paper. No problem. It's easy. And he said, if you don't like it, you can get pizza at the tavern. Perfect. Love it. Love Yellow Springs. I said, that's where I'm going. So I go there. And you go in. And I don't know if you've ever been to an AA meeting. Do not raise your hand if you have. Okay. But you go in and there's this big table, and I'm sitting as far away as possible. People file in. They bring out the big book. You say your prayers. And everybody goes around and says, my name is, and I'm an alcoholic. Well, they got to me and I didn't say anything. I'm like, psh, keep going. So they went around the table. And as the meeting goes on, these people talk about how pathetic their lives are. I judge them right off the bat. I am not like you. I am functioning. That was my first problem. But you guys are just sad. You hurt your kids. My kid loves me. You don't go to work. I go to work every day. You guys are losers. Now, all I did was look at the clock. I couldn't wait. Give me my paper. Get me out of here. So I got my paper signed, and I was heading to the door. And I hear, hey. So I stop, and I turn around. This old guy comes up to me and says, my name's Jack. What's your name? I said, my name's Aaron. He said, I saw you got your paper signed. I said, yeah. He said, you're going to come back next week. I said, no. He said, why not? And I said, because I'm not like you guys. I'm just not. And I got my papers signed, and I'm not. He said, hey, next week is the beginning of the month, and I have to carry in a bunch of groceries. Can you help me carrying these groceries? Because, you know, Ron can't help me, and Billy Bob's not coming, and this guy's talking, and I'm tired. And I'm like, yes, I'll come next week. I'll help you carry in groceries, no problem. So I go home, and I'm still taking handfuls of pills because that makes me a better person. And I go back the next Monday. It's Monday nights, Yellow Springs. And I help him carry in the groceries. The priest from the parish actually comes down, so he's like, do you know how to make coffee? And I'm like, no, not really. But it was one of those big tubs where you put in, I probably put in 10 times the amount of coffee. I'm sure those people loved me. So I made the coffee, he talked to the priest, the meeting started. So again, prayers from the big book, right? That's what they always do, pray your stuff away. Then it comes around to me, and again, I don't say anything. Goes around the corner, comes up. They talk about their pathetic lives, and again, I judge every single one of them. I'm not like you people. I'm functioning. So afterwards, man, I'm heading for the door, and Jack says, wait, Aaron, wait a minute. I just wanted to thank you for coming and helping me make coffee. No problem, Jack. No problem. And he said, can I ask another favor of you? And I said, no. No. I said, I did what you wanted. Please, I'm so tired. Please, don't tell me another story, please. I don't want to come back. He said, I have to go away just for 1 week. No. He held out the keys to the church. Now, no one's ever given me keys to anything. I've stole keys before. But no one's ever given me keys to anything. I was just so tired. Which reminds me of another story real quick. Hold on, let me get some water. So in 2016, I was going to massage school, and I was working at Kettering. And massage school was during the day, Kettering was at night. And I had worked a bunch of nights, 7P to 7A. And I got to get off early, and on my way home, I kept seeing headlights I thought were taillights, getting closer and closer to my car. So I kept slowing down, slowing down, slowing down. The lights kept getting closer and closer, and the next thing I knew, I was hit head on. I had a big Jeep, and I was hit so hard that the engine of the Jeep flipped up and basically crushed my pelvis and my femur. I finished my last month of massage school basically packed in ice. One of my buddies is here, and my teacher's actually here. I was out of it. I mean, they packed me in ice. That's how bad it was. So my femur was crushed, my pelvis was crushed, and they took out my spleen. So not only did I have the half zipper, now I got the full zipper all the way down. That's fun at the beach. You know, I walk up and I'm like, I think the tattoos scare kids more than the scars do, but that's another story. So that was tragic and painful, and trying to go through that without opioids was ridiculous, because let me tell you, an aspirin does not help a crushed pelvis. And then 2 years later, 2018, New Year's Day, my dad watching the bowl games dies of a massive heart attack. There's no nation's greatest heart surgeon to save him. He was my hero. So I lost everything. My dad was everything. And I started to hiccup. So I have a condition that's called intractable hiccups. The word intractable means that nobody knows where it comes from, and you know what hiccuping is, obviously. So I hiccup 20 to 30 times a day. Okay? So you know how bad hiccups suck now, just regularly. I do it 20 to 30 times a day, every day for the past 3 years. Every day. The only way I can get rid of the hiccups is to purge myself, which means make myself throw up. Or I could let them go, and one time I was at the Cleveland Clinic. I went 13 straight hours of hiccuping before my body basically couldn't take it anymore, and I vomited. So I choose, yes, to make myself throw up. I'm like a bulimic. So over the past 3 years, I lost like 150 pounds. Literally, I was starving to death because I would hiccup constantly. I spent half the day bending over. But I was good at hiding stuff because I hid my opioid addiction forever. So I would go to work, I work at the gym, and instead of getting sick, I would go in. We've got the cleanest bathrooms at my gym because I go in there and get sick and I spray the whole bathroom down. I was hiding it, no one knew. Well, people knew. It's all right. But they were really supportive, so it was cool. So I went through that, and I was very blessed that I've been to the Cleveland Clinic many times, Ohio State many times, Johns Hopkins, the Mayo Clinic. I even went to this place out in Arizona. They put me in a mud hut and wrapped me in seaweed, and I was like, this is cool. Still hiccups, more hiccups, more hiccups. Now, I can't tell you the pain that comes with being bent over and throwing up constantly. I mean, imagine your party days coming home and your worst vomit, and that sucks. Some of you are like, man, I haven't threw up in the last year. 20 to 30 times a day, and that's not an exaggeration either. It's awful. Every relationship I had was terrible. I couldn't have a girlfriend. Oh, hey, I gotta go to the bathroom and throw up. I argued with everybody because I was starving to death. I was literally starving to death. Everything was awful. I was in pain again. I wanted to use again. So last November, I got off work at the gym. I'm a massage therapist. I was going to drive to my office, and on my way to my office, I bargained with God to take my life. I said, God, I can't take it anymore. The pain is just too much. I'm hurting everyone. My daughter's 14 now, and all she hears for the past 3 years is me throwing up in the basement. Can't do that to her anymore. So I thought that if I ended it, that all of these people around me would just be better. I would be out of pain. And I said, God, if you won't take my life, Hell's Angels. I said, God, if you won't take my life, then I will do it myself tonight when I get home. I had enough pills. The answer to my hiccup problem was give me another prescription for this and that. So I had enough pills at home, I could easily do it. And that's what I was going to do. I was going to go home, take a whole bunch of pills, and just not wake up. No one would know the difference. They would, but I didn't care. I was gone. Crazy things happen. So just then, I park. I'm sitting in my Jeep, and my client pulls in. She's a bald lady. Bald. Not like me, by choice. She's bald. So I start bawling. She gets out of her car and she comes over and she says, "Can I help you?" I'm just crying and crying, and she says, "I'm here for a massage." And I said, "I'm your massage therapist." She's like, "Great." So she asked if we can go inside, and I go inside, and I get it together. And I do the pre-massage interview. So she's telling me about her condition. Now, as massage therapists, I can't massage her because if she's got any type of cancer, there's all kinds of, but I'm going to listen to whatever she's got to say. She starts telling me she's got breast cancer, 4th stage, both breasts metastasized, moving around. It's in her lymph nodes. 6 months to live prognosis. Her daughter's 1. She's not going to see her turn 2. And her husband just got fired from his job because he takes off so many days of work to take care of her. And I lose it. I'm on the ground, curled up in a ball, crying. And this lady's like, what is going on? She said, does your mom have breast cancer? Does someone you know? And I said, no. I was just in my car asking God to take my life, or I was going to do it at home. I was going to go home and kill myself. And all you want to do is live one more day to see your kid. Man, I didn't want to die because I love my daughter. But I was so bad. So she said, you wanted to kill yourself. Why would you do that? She got mad at me. So I told her my whole story. Told her the whole thing. And she said, I'm going to help you. I said, please, I need it. She said, I'm going to help you. So she says, we have to cure or heal your mind, your body, and your spirit. And I said, lay it on me. Anything you got. She said, first your mind. She said, do you meditate? And I said, honey, I'm like the dog that sees the squirrel that chases it out into the road and gets hit. That's me. And she said, okay. I said, are you going to teach me how to meditate? She said, no. She said, you're going to look up everything you can on meditation. Everything you can look up. And then when I come back, you're going to teach me everything you learned on meditation. I said, okay, I can do that. She goes, okay. She said, now your body, she said, do you know how to breathe? Of course I know how to breathe. She said, show me. So I took a big deep breath. She said, you're doing it wrong. Okay. So she put her hand on my stomach and on my back, and she said, now take a deep breath with your stomach. And I breathed. It was different. And she said, your breath is the only thing you can control from the time you're born to the time you die. Think about that. We think we can control a lot of things. We can't. Right? Oh, I'm in control. No, you're not. I'm prime example. I am way out of control. Just ask my mom, right? But your breath you can control. That was pretty big. So she said, you're going to look up everything you can on breath, and the next time I come and see you, you're going to teach me. I'm liking this. She's giving me some homework, right? That's cool. And she said, now your spirit. Okay. She said, do you pray? And I said, yes. She said, tell me how you pray. And I said, most of it's, oh God, I'm in some deep crap. Can you get me out of this? And she said, you're Catholic, aren't you? And I said, yeah, I am. I said, am I doing that wrong? She said, yeah. She said, stop asking for things. She said, every morning when you wake up, I want you to be grateful. So she said, wake up and tell God 10 things you're thankful for. I said, what if I can't think of 10 things I'm grateful for? She said, well, then we have a bigger problem then. So 10 things. That's your homework. I'll come back in a month and see you. I thought, man, this woman is an angel. Oh, which reminds me of Jack and the coffee, because Jack's an angel too, and I'll tell you how. So Jack, back to Yellow Springs, Peggy, back to Yellow Springs. So Jack's holding out those keys. Remember, I used to steal cars with keys, not open churches with keys. So I said, okay, Jack, if you quit talking, I'll come back 1 week, man. Don't do this again, 1 week. He said, fine, I'll be back next week. Cool. So I go home. I'm still taking pills, lots of pills still. Okay? Come back the next, Monday. I set up the church just like Jack, showed me just how I was doing it. Meeting goes on. Prayers from the big book. Everybody goes around, I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. You keep going. Everybody's pathetic because I'm still judging everyone. Meeting's over, and I go up to the guy running the meeting, and I say, hey, here's Jack's keys back. He said, look, man, I don't want the keys. I got this to do. I got that to do. I got this to do. He's blah, 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 blah. He's like, just come next week. No, I'm getting roped into this again. I'm not doing it. He starts getting frustrated because he's an alcoholic. Okay, Jack will be back next week. It's one more time. Just give him the keys. No problem. So the next week, I figure I'm going to show Jack up a little bit. Jack just makes coffee. I'm bringing Schuler's donuts too. Eat your coffee, get your donuts. Jack comes. He's a little impressed because I did what he asked. Twice now, 3 times, right? So I'm watching the door. No Jack. There are some new faces though. Okay. Guy and girl in their 20s and a mom come in. Sit down. Prayers from the big book, right? I'm an alcoholic. I'm not. Keep going. Well, the kids don't say anything either, and they go around. And about halfway through, the boy stands up and says, F this. I don't care if I go to jail or not. You guys are all losers. I'm out of here. Let's go. So he gets up and he walks out, and the girl stands up and she starts to walk out, and the mom says, if you leave, you lose your kid. Damn. That's deep shit, losing your kid. Moms are in here right now, losing your kid, right? Wow. So she sits back down. So at the end, I go to the guy, and he said, hey, I couldn't find anybody to make coffee, but if you give me the keys, I'll find somebody. And I said, well, if it's all the same to you, I'll give the keys back to Jack. And I looked at the girl who stayed, and I said, are you coming back next week? She said, yeah. And I said, me too, because I make the coffee. So I went home, and I dumped out every single pill I had. I erased every person that ever sold me drugs. I quit going to the gym that I went to where I knew I could get it. I quit talking to everybody. My daughter was with my ex-wife at the time. I locked myself in my basement, and I went cold turkey, and it sucked. It hurt. I got sick. I had diarrhea. I didn't sleep. I had the shakes. I wanted to go back so bad, but I erased everybody's number. Freaked out for an entire week. Terrible. Awful. I thought the heart attack was. They start going around. They get to me. I stand up. You don't stand up. I stand up. And I said, my name is Aaron Stratton, and I am a drug addict, and I make the coffee. That was the single most empowering moment of my life. I sat back down. And man, I didn't look at anybody. I didn't hear anything. The whole rest of that, I didn't hear anything. I was just smiling like, yes. It was liberating. So I went home, and for the next 2 months, 2 months, I made the coffee. And one day, Jack rolls back in. He says, good to still see you here. I said, hey. I said, I got 2 questions for you, Jack. He said, okay. I said, did you know when you asked me how long you were going to be? He said, no, I hoped I would be longer. You see, I went out to California because my sister's dying of cancer, and I wanted to spend as much time with her as possible. Ouch. Kind of like the Beardman thing, you know, get you. I said, okay. He said, what's your second question? I said, how did you know that I would keep coming and coming and coming and making coffee? And he said, Aaron, I knew 2 things about you as soon as I met you. And I said, okay, what were they? And he said that 1, you were not an alcoholic, but you were a drug addict. I said, how'd you know that? He said, you didn't drink any coffee. These people drink coffee for a reason. You don't. For a reason, obviously. And I said, well, what was the second thing? And he said, I knew you were a man of your word. Now, when I die, I'm not going to put biggest bench press in the gym or coolest Jeep on my tombstone. But I am going to put Aaron Stratton, man of his word, on my tombstone. That meant everything. So for the rest of that year and the next, I made coffee on Monday nights, and I brought Schuler's Donuts, and then I got clean. And the feeling when I got clean is the same feeling when I started doing that homework for that bald lady. Felt awesome, felt liberated again. So man, I studied and I read everything, meditated. It was hard at first. I closed my eyes and think all kinds of weird stuff. But I did it. 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Oh, I couldn't wait to call her. So man, I texted and called, texted and called, texted and called. 2 more weeks went by, nothing. Nothing. Finally, I get a phone call back. It's her husband. He said, hey, Aaron, I want to thank you for all the kind texts and voice messages you've been leaving for my wife. But she died 3 days after she left your office. And I'm moving back to Florida. My parents are going to help me raise my daughter. But I wanted to tell you before I turned her phone off, thank you for that. And I said, God bless you, thank you. And that was it. And I said, I am all in now. So that next year, this past year, I did everything I possibly could to get this book ready to go. I studied, I meditated, I learned as much as I possibly could to write it, to bring it to bear. And the one thing that I want to share with you the most is this idea. It's the idea that the universe always says yes. So if you wake up tomorrow and you say, today is going to be terrible, I hate my job, I hate my life, I hate where I'm at, the universe is going to say yes. But if you wake up tomorrow and you say, today is going to be a great day, I'm thankful that I'm alive, I'm thankful that I'm sober, I'm thankful that I get to go into a gym and meet great people, my life is good, great things are happening, you know what the universe is going to say? Yes. Yes. I'm going to leave you with this story. There's a man, and he's watching a newscast. And the newscast says it's going to rain and that you need to evacuate to higher ground. And the man said, I've loved the Lord. I've been faithful to the Lord. The Lord will protect me. Well, the rains came and the waters kept rising. And now the water's up to his porch, and a guy in a boat comes and he says, hey, buddy, the town is flooding. Jump in my boat, I'll take you out of here. And the guy says, I love the Lord. I've been faithful to the Lord. The Lord will protect me. And the rains kept coming and coming and coming. So now they're up to the roof. And the guy is standing on his roof. And a guy in a helicopter flies over. And he says, hey, buddy, the whole town is flooded. Throws down the ladder. Grab the ladder, let me take you out of here. The man says, I love the Lord. I've been faithful my entire life. The Lord will save me. You know what happened? The man drowned. He's standing at the gates of St. Peter, and he demands an audience with God. And he says, God, I've loved you my entire life. I was faithful to you my entire life. How could you let this happen? And God said, I sent you a newscast, a man in a boat, and a guy in a helicopter. What the hell are you doing here? Well, God sent me the best heart surgeon in America, Jack, Coffee in Yellow Springs, and a beautiful bald angel. I know exactly what I'm doing here right now. Thank you so much for coming. Please give as much as you can. Look at my Instagram account. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. Oh, stop. I was trying to talk long enough that Mother Stewart's would actually open and we could go in and have a